Hello, Divine Feminine. I am excited to do this reading for you this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I hope you guys have been having a great week. And we're going to look a little at what's going on with your Divine Masculine and the relationship that the two of you have. I really don't like calling it a relationship. And the reason why I don't like calling it a relationship isn't because you don't have a relationship with them, but because it implies something to the ego that isn't actually accurate for the connection that you have with your Divine Masculine. Relationship, like everything else, is a perception, and everyone has a different perception of what the word relationship means. We have all kinds of relationships. So to say this is a relationship can mean that your ego can twist it in a lot of different ways for it to fall into a category that isn't really truly accurate. It can be easily mislabeled when we call it a relationship, especially because there is a romantic aspect of the relationship with your Divine Masculine that can really confuse the ego. The entire connection that you have with your twin flame is brought to you during your spiritual awakening in order to wake you up to the truth of who you really are, which is a soul. And at that level, you and your Divine Masculine are one being. And when you embrace this, everything changes with you and your Divine Masculine. So to call it a relationship, really, in many ways, it lessens the true importance of what this connection is, because this is your spiritual awakening. It's something much greater than just a romantic relationship. Romance is involved, however, it's just a tiny, small little aspect of the scope of what this connection is with you and your Divine Masculine. So let's get into this today, and we're going to look at the purpose of the relationship connection of you and your Divine Masculine. Okay, so for this we have death in the reverse. So let's break this down a little bit. The connection between you and your Divine Masculine is one of great importance. It is only brought to you when you're ready to go through certain stages of your spiritual awakening. And it is just a part of your spiritual awakening. It is not the entirety of your spiritual awakening. So if you make it the entirety of your spiritual awakening, you are missing the mark. Okay, and you'll stay in that place until you don't need to stay in that place anymore. So that could create, if you hold on to this at the level of the ego, it could create stagnation, a feeling of being stuck, or like kind of a why try, like a hopeless type of feeling. You know, it's never going to work, or things don't happen the way that they're meant to. These are all self-affirming realities that you will make and manifest if you hold on to these old paradigm and belief systems that have held you back subconsciously up until now. The purpose of your meeting is to let these things go. But this is not an overnight process. A butterfly does not become a caterpillar in the blink of an eye. There's a process that it goes through. And just like you and your Divine Masculine, you're both going through this transformative process that is bringing you to a higher state of conscious awareness of what you are, what the two of you are together, and your relationship as soul to the world of matter or materialism. All right, so what are the kinds of blocks that you and your divine masculine might be facing together toward each other? Now, there's lots of things that you could be facing individually in your lives, on your own journeys. However, so let me break this down a little bit. You have two hands, right? You have a left hand and a right hand. And when you're performing a task, your right hand is going to do certain things, and your left hand is going to do certain things. And they may not be exactly the same, but they're working toward the same goal. You and your divine masculine, the physical forms that you guys are, it's just like your left and right hand from the soul's perspective. Your divine masculine is going to perform certain tasks in this awakening, and you're going to perform certain tasks in this awakening, in this journey of life, in this dualistic realm. However, you're both moving toward a same shared goal, which is the soul's desire. So when we focus that and we recognize that, we can allow the process to kind of take shape without resistance or fear being involved in it, because we recognize that there is an absolute connection between us and this other person at the level of the soul. So what are the blocks that you guys could face? Because individually, you might have certain blocks when you're balancing yourself out, and they may have certain blocks when they're balancing themselves out. But what we're talking about right now is maybe how these blocks are kind of like intertwined and how they prevent the two of you from reaching this shared goal, which is, you know, the awakening and the ascension and bringing the soul's desire into this realm here. So the blocks that the two of you are sharing, which is the Hanged Man in reverse. So let's break this down a little bit to kind of help you guys understand. There is selfishness. However, the selfishness isn't coming from a place of what we would traditionally call selfishness. You or your divine masculine are not being selfish in like a F you, I don't give a crap kind of a way. It's more of like not understanding the connection itself between the two of you. And how even though you guys are experiencing this awakening process very differently, it's happening exactly as it's meant to. It's a paradox, and it's something that is very difficult for our minds to grasp and understand on a human level. But this is exactly what you're transcending. And so if you embrace that and make that your bullseye, it's going to start to make sense. And then that selfishness stops, because it's not, you see things from a higher, more elevated perspective. You're not seeing it from just the left hand's or the right hand's perspective. Instead, you're seeing it from the perspective of what's guiding both the left and the right hand. Okay, and so the blocks that you're facing are just that you and your divine masculine have not reached a state of conscious awareness yet of how the two of you are actually like entangled, and why things happen the way that they do. Even when it seems like there's discord, it's actually perfectly in harmony from the soul's perspective. It's you bringing your mind and body into alignment with the soul. The soul's already in alignment, but there is a choice to be made at the level of that like human mind. What am I going to make my bullseye? The ego or the soul? The ego or the soul? And you are experiencing that ego death right now when you've gone through the dark night of the soul. The ego doesn't die completely though, right? Because there's a choice in it. You transcend it, but there's a choice. It's becoming more and more apparent to you, and things will get more and more painful if you don't embrace it, because that's the goal of the soul. To wake you up and to bring both bodies into alignment with the soul. Okay. So what's the guidance that source, your soul, God, would like to give you and your divine masculine. Patience. Have patience. All of your hard work is going to pay off. It's kind of crazy because sometimes the hard work that the hardest work that we have is when we're not even lifting a finger. It's the emotional stuff. It's overcoming these pendulums and, pitfalls and roadblocks and, distractions that happen on a mental and emotional level. That's the most difficult stuff to overcome. And that is extraordinarily draining on our energy, and we haven't even actually lifted a finger oftentimes in situations. But yet at the same time, we feel completely drained and helpless, and it's overcoming that inner battle between the soul and the ego. When the ego surrenders, everything changes. You create this harmonizing effect within the self. It's a balancing out of the dualistic energies within you, and going into that middle path, the neutral place in between. Really centering yourself in that takes you out of these polarized paradigms of good and bad. This is mastering over the realm that you're in. Okay, so it's not an easy process, and your soul is working tirelessly through both you and your divine masculine to achieve this, to be a master creator. And divine feminine, that's what you are at the core, at the center, the truth of who you are. You are the twin flame. You are the soul. So stepping into that and out of the I'm just a human, I'm just a mind, I'm just a body thought, that's just an illusion. It's the illusion of Maya, right? It's the illusion of Maya. Then you master over the game of Leela. Okay, you get out of the dualistic paradigm, and you're centered, and you see things with clarity, and you are able to become like a master chess player in this world. Okay, that is what Source wants you to know and understand, that this is all happening for that reason, and it's beautiful and incredible and amazing, and it's because you're ready for it. Not everyone's ready for it, which is why not everyone's going through this, which is why channels like the Conduits and like channels are so important, because it helps you to find people who are also going through it, because in your regular everyday day-to-day world, it is hard to find people that can relate to what it is that you're experiencing. And maybe someday they'll get there, but they're not there yet. But the further you go, you're going to start attracting more and more people like that in your life, just so you're aware. Okay, probable outcome. Where are you and your divine masculine moving toward right now? All right, this is a really good card. You and your divine masculine are working on, both of you, in separate karmic relationships, or family relationships, business relationships, friendships, and especially with each other. Proper boundaries, keeping and maintaining proper boundaries. Boundaries are something that we actually set for ourselves. We think we're setting boundaries around other people, and that's the way the ego can sometimes externalize things. However, the truth is it's boundaries around ourselves, expectations around ourselves. We cannot expect other people to do what we want them to do. However, we can expect ourselves to live up to our own goals and to shoot towards our own bullseye, keeping the proper trajectory and within those boundaries. And so if somebody comes into our life, twin flame or no twin flame, and they're not treating us well, it's up to us to make sure that we don't give our time and attention to that, even if it's your twin flame. That is so important, you guys. especially if it's your twin flame, because your twin flame is showing you all of the things that you need to work on. That's why it's a hard relationship. Ugh, I hate that word. Connection. Okay. It's why it's a hard connection, is it's there to help you to grow and to transcend. It's not there to comfort you and appease your pain. It's there to show you why you have pain and how to overcome that. It's there to show you that you have the strength to overcome and to not be weak. Okay? You are, because you're not. Those things, you have an inner compass that you follow. And when something feels wrong, we can get disillusioned by it, but it's there to show you like who you really are. If it doesn't feel like it's in alignment, it's because it's not in alignment, and you should listen to that and redirect. And oftentimes our twin flame shows us these things by triggering us, and we trigger the heck out of them too. So it's just what it is, but it's there for growth. That's the purpose of it, is growth. And growth isn't always easy. When you're growing and you're a kid, you get growing pains while your body's growing. And it hurts, but it's helping you to grow and to become a mature adult. And right now you're going through growing pains with your divine masculine in order to help you to become a mature and wise soul in this realm. You are growing. That's the purpose of it all. So this is what you guys are moving toward, okay? You guys are both learning how to let go of codependency patterns, fear of abandonment, all these things. Now, it doesn't mean that, fears are irrelevant, but they're showing you something. And if you just stay in the fear, you're not learning the lesson. You have to learn the lesson so that you can overcome and transcend the fear. And that's what you and your divine masculine are teaching each other. And that is a beautiful thing, you guys. Here is your numerology number for today. We have, 2 and 2. So 22, 4, or 2 and 2. Okay? And so that's a good number. It's a double. It's a double, right? In there. All right, let me get you guys an oracle card today. And let's see, what do we want to use? Let's use the elemental oracles today. I haven't done these ones in a while. I like these ones a lot. They always have a great advice, very beautiful advice from these cards. Let me give it a couple shuffles. If something falls out, we'll use it. If not, we'll just do it till it feels right. And that's what I do. I just do it till it feels right. I've had some of the coolest synchronicities with these cards before. Not these particular ones, but just with cards in general. And, all over our life, right? We start to learn to listen to that inner voice and follow that inner compass and inner intuition. And these synchronicities, show up in our life, and we start to see them like little lights on our path, right? All right, I've never pulled this one before. This is going to be good. Let's take a look here. And the card itself is companionship, animals. I had ravens show up for me, and ladybugs. Ravens and ladybugs are very special to me. I've talked about it before. You may have some animals that mean a lot to you and have shown up as guides on your journey. So let's see what this says here. Companionship. We all have a superpower. Find yours and exercise it. Really, after all, Divine Feminine, that is the purpose of this journey, right? Take time out to share your gifts. The natural world calls you. It is part of you. Experience having an animal companion. But if you cannot, then donate. Make your property animal friendly or help animal causes. I have very fortunately been surrounded by animals since I was born. Not just domestic animals, but wild creatures such as birds, insects, and small mammals. My parents lived on a suburban block, but were open to sharing their world with any animal that sauntered by. And this openness taught and benefited me. As a child, I learned that animals had a precious otherness from humans, with each having a superpower of sorts. Possums have incredible tree climbing skills and can see at night. Big goannas can shimmy up large trees, defying gravity. Blue-tongued lizards have that tongue. Kookaburras have a special laugh. Cockatoos are smart enough to know how to open the seed bin on their own. And ravens tell their friends about us and send their friends for food. All have their intelligence, personalities, and focus, and all are a joy to me. We owe animals a debt we cannot ever repay. Dogs are our companions, healers, and protectors, and can detect anything from drugs to cancer. Horses were key to human travel and expansion. Cats were not only our comforting companions, but killed disease-carrying rats. Domestic animals of all kinds feed meat-consuming humans. Even animal dung has contributed to the fertility of farm soils. I cannot express the spiritual succor we gain simply by observing wild animals going about their business. Over 1.5 million species of animals have been described under the kingdom Animalia. Most breathe oxygen, reproduce sexually, and consume organic material. Animals are a key contributor to the synergistic habit or biome. Sadly, according to the World Wildlife Fund's latest Living Planet report, the number of wild animals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fish has dropped by 60% since 1970, mostly due to habitat loss from human encroachment or through climate change that makes existing habitats uninhabitable. The idea that we are apart from animals and the ecosystem is one of the reasons why this disconnection is so profound. We have no greater rights than any other animal to be here, and we can work with rather than against the animals. Element Earth. How I interpret this is that as you go through your journey and recognize how you are intimately connected with all things around you, you being the center and everything emanating out from that, when you start to understand the oneness and the interconnectedness of all things and your relationship as soul to the material world of matter around you, you start to realize that you have a profound impact on everything, and so does everything else. You see the value in all things, and you see the value in yourself. And you can't deny that anymore. You are connected to all things. And so there's a reverence towards everything, every experience, every encounter, every synchronicity, every person. Everything in your journey is relevant. Everything is spiritual. Why? Because you are the spirit having the experience. Okay? So look for that relevance in everything in your life. Remember to stay grateful and to understand how important every breath, every single moment, every single second that you're in is. It is all beautiful. It is all a gift. It is all a miracle that you are experiencing. Everything around you is dancing for your amusement and you for it. You are the creator and the creation simultaneously. So, thank you for being here with me, you guys. I appreciate it. I look forward to your reading on Tuesday for Divine Masculine. And until then, I send you blessings. Bye.